Self-actualization is the grand puzzle many overlook, mistakenly expecting external saviors to solve personal predicaments. The path unfolds in a dark undercurrent, a space where illusions must shatter in order for genuine power to emerge. People project pleas onto friends, mentors, anonymous strangers, waiting for interventions that never arrive in lasting form. The illusions swirl around the notion that some external force will rescue from the labyrinth of personal mistakes or nagging weaknesses. Reality, however, instructs that an individual's liberation can only be claimed by personal hands. The darkest joke is how simple the concept remains, even though most shrink from it. Being the hero to one's own story demands stepping into the center of conflict, owning each misstep, each overlooked chance, each failure that slices through illusions of security. There's no circumventing the chaos. The puzzle must be solved from within. Relying on external sources fosters dependency, which quickly decays into resentment. This bitterness stems from the expectation that others should bear the responsibility of soothing emotional turbulence. Many become entangled in a spider's web of passivity, believing that salvation emerges from somewhere else. But no cavalry appears to rescue wandering souls from personal battles. The hush that follows each disappointment soon blossoms into cynicism. Only once repeated letdowns accumulate does the spark of recognition arrive. Self-actualization is about stepping into the storm alone, forging a personal solution from the wreckage of broken dreams and misguided allegiances. The scenic roads, the easy detours, they all lead back to the bleak starting point if the core problem remains unresolved. Solving one's own problems is a rebellious act in a culture quick to offer shallow remedies, fleeting distractions, mass-produced affirmations. Quick fixes rarely uproot the deeper cause of distress, leaving seeds of turmoil to sprout anew. Meanwhile, the crowd chases yet another magic bullet, ignoring that no solution can match the clarity born of personal effort. Observers label such rebellious self-reliance as heartless or reclusive. But stepping away from illusions is the only path to sincere growth. A soul determined to handle its own darkness becomes unstoppable. The sting of attempts, failures included, becomes the fiery crucible that refines the spirit, carving out confidence that no external validation could ever bestow. Others might label it arrogance, but in the realm of personal battles, none else stands as a better champion than the mind ready to face itself. Maintaining illusions is easy. The world serves them up daily, each labeled as a fix for emptiness or despair. Indulging illusions is like sipping poison from a golden chalice, comforting in the moment, but lethal in the long run. The body and mind remain unchallenged, never forced to stand, to confront the jagged edges of existence. Meanwhile, those illusions corrode vital edges of resilience. Embracing personal power through problem-solving slices, through illusions, as though they were paper. The path is harsh, yes, but it's honest. Each solved problem stands as a torch in the darkness, illuminating further steps. That torch becomes a beacon not only for self, but ironically, for others seeking to cast off illusions. The comedic tragedy is how people cling to illusions of rescue from the outside. They worship the concept of a guiding hand that sweeps away the burdens. Yet any external hand can only do so much. When that assistance disappears, the darkness inevitably returns. Stronger, more cunning, more eager to devour an unprepared soul. Only repeated encounters with disappointment break the pattern, forcing acknowledgement that each shadow must be confronted, by the one casting it. Tapping into inner resolve comes the only unshakable foundation. With each solution personally crafted, a self-actualized identity forms, immune to external storms. Imagine the sensation of stepping back after solving personal trials with one's own mental tools. That moment of clarity, that sense of, I overcame, I endured, I advanced, is the purest elixir. It can't be sold, can't be borrowed, can't be gifted. It must be earned. Self-actualization is not the realm of perpetual positivity or blind optimism. It's a forging process. Each new challenge hammered into understanding. Each success a brand new weapon in an ever-expanding arsenal of wisdom. The mind, once trained, becomes a fortress no predator can breach. This formidable presence sometimes scares onlookers, as they sense a quiet refusal to engage in the pettiness that once caged a lesser version of self. The darkest part of the self emerges in the gaps between illusions and acceptance. Solving personal problems forces confrontation with that hidden side, the tendencies, fears, or motivations that sabotage at the slightest provocation. Confronting it demands grit, possibly tears, definitely pain. But once a person claims mastery over those shadows, illusions lose their potency. Dependence on others as a crutch evaporates. Confidence, tempered by adversity, rises from the ashes of victimhood. Self-actualization is the quiet storm that humbles illusions, revealing that no savior was ever as powerful as a mind that resolved to conquer its own struggles. This path isn't lonely, though it may appear so. In the hush that follows, illusions being shattered, genuine relationships emerge. Ones built on mutual respect, not codependency. The self-actualized no longer kneels to illusions or demands others fix the chaos. Instead, synergy occurs, each individual responsible for personal battles, each forging unstoppable alliances from positions of strength rather than weakness. The manipulative forces of the world cringe at such unity, for they thrive on the illusions of dependency. But illusions cannot stand before unwavering individuality. The world shifts subtly, acknowledging that a new force has stepped into the arena, unstoppable in purpose and clarity. Those who remain wedded to illusions gaze upon self-actualization with uneasy awe. They question the method. How does one stand so firm without the scaffolding of external solutions? The method is no secret. Repeated attempts, repeated stumbles, repeated self-reckoning, until illusions lose their grip. Exhausting, yes, but the reward is an abiding sense of self that no illusions can ever again infiltrate. Others notice the transformation and either resent it or aspire to it. For change, always, polarizes. But it never matters, does it? The self-actualized stand beyond illusions, beyond idle gossip. Collective mental energy is the wellspring from which modern power flows. Imagine masses of minds, each one churning with small intentions, fleeting passions, idle fears, all melding into an unseen ocean of will that the cunning know how to siphon. The external structures looming over civilization, financial towers, political empires, cultural monoliths, feed on the raw psychic fuel unconsciously donated by countless souls who never question where their thoughts wander. In this silent conspiracy, those at the bottom of the pyramid pour out their attention, their unspoken desires, their hidden anxieties, and all this intangible currency flows upward, animating the machinery of modern power. Day after day, billions linger over screens, linger in fleeting dreams of success, entertainment, or security, never realizing they are fueling the very institutions that often hold them captive. A jolt of fear here, A burst of hope there. Each emotional shift adds up, forming a collective current stronger than any single mind. The true puppet masters learned long ago to harness that current, to direct it for their benefit. And so the masses, droning in unconscious focus, unwittingly become co-creators of the system that profits from their own mental labors. These pillars of external might exist not merely through brute force or cunning legislation. They derive their power from the bottom up. The masses remain oblivious to the subtle siphoning of their mental energies. Each advertisement hooking an unguarded mind, each piece of sensational news tugging emotional strings, each social trend compelling blind conformity, all feed into the system's craving for attention. That attention is transmuted into influence, resource, control. The intangible becomes tangible, coalescing into an unstoppable force that shapes markets, steers decisions, and perpetuates a cycle of mental expenditure. So many wander through the labyrinth, unaware they possess the means to redirect this energy. They default to familiar habits, endless scrolling, mindless consumerism, silent envy. Meanwhile, the cunning architects of modern power grin in the shadows. Their greatest victory lies in making the masses believe that no intangible force exists, that life is only bricks and wires, ignoring the swirling tide of mental energy that underpins everything. Take a step back and sense the hum of unspoken thought. The swirling motion of countless minds invests structures with gravity, the hype surrounding new technology, the fervor for fleeting entertainment, the blind faith in crafted icons. They all sprout from this psychic reservoir. People assume these phenomena burst forth from objective progress, but more often, they spring from orchestrated manipulations of collective will. With each click, each share, each moment of fascination or outrage, seeds are sown in the universal psyche. Harvest time arrives in the form of new ideologies, corporate triumphs, or cultural waves that blindside the unprepared. And yet, few notice. They remain entangled in illusions, never suspecting they've contributed their mind's essence to enthrone someone else's agenda. The web extends in all directions, tethering thoughts to outcomes no single mind alone could birth.